Hey, well, good morning to you. Good to see you, and good to be sitting back on the swing today again. And my name is Jim Sunderwirth, and I'm here just to enjoy the morning with you for just a few minutes. Okay. Anyway, so we've been talking about the journey of Abraham, and Isaac, and Jacob, and we've been talking about Jacob and how the last time how he had to bury the things and come into the land fresh with his family. And so we're going to still talk a little bit about Jacob, but we're going to switch here just a little bit. We're going to go to chapter 37 of Genesis, and we're going to talk about a young man by the name of Joseph. Now, Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan, and these are the generations of Jacob, Joseph being 17 years old, and then you can go all through those. But I just want to point out, here is a young man. His name is Joseph. We're going to focus on him. Now, the first 2,000 years is covered by the first chapter, Genesis 1 up to 36. But starting at 37, we talk about a young man by the name of Joseph, and the rest of this whole thing is about Joseph. Now, the first 36 chapters covers those 2,000 years and covers, and it goes by, kind of fast. But then all of a sudden, right now, beginning at 37, it slows way down. And so it's about the fourth of Genesis is centered around a young man by the name of Joseph. Now, this is the 11th son of Jacob, and of course he loves this son very, very much. Now, this son, you're going to find out, is phenomenal. He is opposite than his grandfathers in a sense. He's a model of goodness, integrity, humility, purity. He's an example of faithfulness. Now he's an example of faithfulness in the midst of adversity. I mean, this kid, now he's not perfect. You're going to find out that he's not perfect. Only Jesus was perfect. But he forgave. He expressed forgiveness in the midst of maltreatment, mistreatment. I mean, somebody that really treated him bad, and we're going to find out how, and how he could forgive, and how he could hug and love. And his life basically introduces God's providence, how God works in people's lives. You see, the thing about it's I think it's Romans 8:28. Well, I know it's Romans 8:28, where it says, all things work together for good to them that love the Lord and are the called according to God's purpose, his purpose. This is the major thing. Even Jesus said, when you are living in God's purpose, you can ask what you will and provisions will be made. In a sense, that's the positive side of this, where it says all things work together for good. And Joseph is and will be expressed to us a tremendous example of what can happen because God says all things will work together if you're called according to his purpose. And he was called according to his purpose. That was for sure. Anyway, so you have to understand, I think you have to understand, and which will be exposed through this story, that God has two hands. He works with two hands. He one hand is the visible hand. And everybody likes that visible hand. That visible hand is miracles. All through, well, we've seen it through Genesis. If you go all the way back, you see the miracle of creation and all the different miracles that happen along the way. And that you just saw God's hand work. You could just see it. And you'd say, wow, that is so cool. Because and a lot of people want miracles. They want to see the miracles. But God works with the other hand, which is behind the scene. He works behind the scene. He manipulates, he maneuvers, he brings, you know what I mean. When I got saved and things changed my life. My life is, things happened I couldn't even hardly understand how it did, but it was God's invisible hand moving me and getting me in position and preparing me for different places and filling me with his presence so he could take me to his purpose. And that's what he does for all of us if we'll just rest in that and understand that these examples, this Old Testament are examples of how God works both with miracles, and then he works behind the scenes in God's providence, how he works through and he helps us along the way. We don't see it sometimes, but we see the results. It's like the wind. People say, well, I can't ever see the wind, but I can see the results of it. Well, that's what it's all about. This is what we're going to be talking about as we talk about the life of Joseph. Okay, I'm past my time, so I'm going to let it go right now, but I'll be back tomorrow, and we'll continue to talk about a young man named Joseph.